Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Lainey and this is Being Lainey, and today I am answering your questions. So I'm doing a Q&A. I put a couple of posts out to ask for some questions, and you lovely people have sent me some. So hopefully I won't waffle too much because I have a tendency to do that. And this will all be done in the one video rather than two. Anyway, let's get on, I suppose. um, and we'll start with the first question. So, I apologise if I say this or pronounce this wrong. Denovo Jeweller. So, this is a lady from Instagram who has lovely pictures of jewellery, I have to say. I'm not sure if your name's Blue, but or if that's a nickname, but if it is Blue, that's cool. And I looked up Denovo in case it was like something like your company or whatever, but apparently Denovo is Latin phrase meaning from the beginning, so I learned something new. Anyway, you said, "Hi sweet, nice to meet you." Nice to meet you too, by the way. Some questions for your video, if I'm allowed to ask multiple, and yes you are. You said, "Do you collect jewellery?" Yes I do. Too much, probably. Do you make things? No, unfortunately not. I'd love to, but I'm not very crafty. There's some videos on here that show that. I tried to make a jewellery wreath. Didn't go very well. Everyone thought it was great, those who watched it, in the sense of how wrong it went. But yeah, I am not talented in crafting in any way, by the way. You also said, "Do you sell it?" I don't. And that you love meeting fellow jewellery lovers. And all of it excites me, and you love hearing that others do too. And yes, I absolutely love it. I have, too many favourites, to be fair. So yeah, I do like silver much, but I mean, don't get me wrong. If like there was a choice of having a skip full of gold or a skip full of silver, I'll choose the skip full of gold, obviously. Uh, but but yeah, I absolutely love silver and like just all of it really. And I can see. I'm probably better off telling you things I don't like. So anything with wire, because it's just annoying. Um, those like wooden ones with the sort of cord that like I think you get away, like you know what I mean. Um, those annoy me. Um, and there's probably others, but off the top of my head, that's all I can think of. But yeah, absolutely love jewellery. I've got some lovely pieces, and I think I did a video because the lovely people on Lexus Whatnot got me a Presidium tester, so I shared some of the pieces I had while I tested those on a video. So yeah, I love it, and I think everyone should, but lots of people don't, which is sad for them. But anyway, yes, lovely to meet you, by the way, again. Next question. What I'll do is I'll put I'll put people's Instagrams or YouTubes, or if they have it, in the comments below, so everyone can go over, hopefully. My second question is from Ross, who is Reventa on Instagram. Again, I'll put his link below. Why do you hate Newcastle so much? For anyone who doesn't know, I am a huge Sunderland supporter, football supporter, and Newcastle is classed as our derby game, and we have a big rivalry. Now, he put laughing emojis, by the way, just so you know. I don't hate them. Hate is a strong word. I just don't want them to do very well. But, you know, as football goes, that's what you do, isn't it? You want to win, you want to beat them, and you want them to not do very well. I love a bit of banter between us. I don't, I absolutely hate like thuggery, or however you want to call it, thugs and those people. I don't know why I changed my accent. The excuses used annoys me, in the sense of like people who go to football matches or just create, fights and things. They're not football fans to me. You wouldn't risk losing the chance to be at your game. And I don't care what anyone else says. It's just a bunch of idiots who have attached themselves to football to use that to be an arsehole, for better want of a word. But yeah, no, I don't hate. I just would like them not to win anything. But never mind. Then moving on to Ian's question, who is the tat doctor. And this is related in a sense, because he said, if you didn't support Sunderland, who would you support? I think that can come under, like, if Sunderland didn't exist, would there be just like, would everyone support Newcastle? Being all like local, but I'd like to think that I would support South Shields. So South Shields is a town about 6 miles away, and they do have a football club who play in the lower leagues. And yeah, I think I would support South Shields. I think Ian would think I would support Liverpool because I do like Liverpool. However, I think I would still stay local, and I still like Liverpool to do well. So, yeah, I don't know why I like Liverpool. I just, I do. I don't have them. I know some people say they've got a second team, whatever. No, I'm not. I'm not that bothered. And obviously, if we were playing, I'd want to win. But not that we'll be playing. Well, not that. Oh, yes, we will be playing them, but not that we win. Is what I was about to say. We'll be playing them twice this season. But yeah. We're not likely to win. But never mind, you never know, do you? Can always be a surprise. Right, who's next? Oh, Ian's got more questions. So, he said, if you could live anywhere in the south, where would you live? So the south is everywhere beyond me, really, isn't it? I think I've thought of like 3 places when I thought of this, so I'm going to just give them all. So the Lake District is one. I went there as a kid. We stayed in Kendal. Went to Keswick. I went on the lake. I went on to Lake Windermere on like a boat tour thing. And yeah, I loved it there. And so there would be one. And then I've never been to these other 2 places, but pictures that I've seen of them, they just look amazing. So Cornwall is one. I always think Cornwall, in the pictures that you see, it doesn't look like it belongs to this country, if that makes sense. I don't know why. It just kind of looks like a tropical country. So it's just really beautiful. So that's one, and I just totally accidentally turned the camera off. It's clever, isn't it? So yeah, where was that? Oh yeah. So Cornwall, definitely, because like I said, it looks so picturesque and beautiful, and it doesn't look like it belongs to this country. It looks like it should be in somewhere tropical. And the last one is the Cotswolds. And again, doesn't look like well, do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't look like it belongs to this country, but we do have a lot of green spaces, and so I suppose it does. But it looks like so picturesque. It looks like some, I don't know, just some beautiful, picturesque place that only lovely, perfect people live. Which is, yeah, it's not a thing, is it? But never mind. I just think it looks amazing. So, yeah. And his last question is, wait a minute, Leonie. If you could be in any TV show, what would you be in? And my first thought was Game of Thrones, right? Absolutely love Game of Thrones, and Jason Momoa. But I'd be dead in 2 minutes in Game of Thrones. I'd probably be either one of the, I was going to say one of the whores in the brothels, or yeah, or just like I'd just get killed for no reason or something. But I can't do any accents, you know what I mean? I try, and they don't work. So I think I'd have to be in something local. So when I was a kid, there was a show called Biker Grove, which anyone who's around my age will remember. And obviously all of the people in it, it was in a place called Byker, which is in Newcastle, but a lot of the people in it were from Sunderland as well as Newcastle and the surrounding areas. And because like my accent would fit in, then yeah, I could be in Byker Grove. Or my other choice, because I would really like to be in some sort of police drama, and I was thinking like Line of Duty or something, but again, accents. Vera, maybe Vera could have a sidekick called Lainey, and yeah, who can solve crimes in the countryside and stuff. But again, just because I can do the accent, because it is my accent. So yeah, that would be my choices. All right, next question is from Maud and Myfanwy, who are Susan's cats, by the way. And they would like to know, who is your favourite out of Maud and Myfanwy? And I can't pick between the two. They're both beautiful girls, and they both have their own individual character, and so therefore I just couldn't choose. And yeah, so I'm sorry, I just love yous both the same. So there you go. And then my next questions are from Susan and Mr. AI. Now, I don't know which ones are Susan's questions. I've got a feeling something to do. Well, I've got a feeling that definitely the top two are Susan's questions. Maybe possibly three. We'll see. Anyway, question one is, who is your favourite child? So, I have two children, David and Laura, and we have joked around this question before, and I do not have a favourite child. I can't choose between both of my children. And they were like, yeah, but if you were stuck somewhere or whatever, which child would you want to be with? But to me, that's not saying that's your favourite child. It depends on the situation. So if I was stuck somewhere watching loads of football, I'd choose David because Laura would hate it. David would like it. If I was stuck somewhere like shopping and you know, other things, then Laura would enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? So, with like 20,000 dogs, she would enjoy it, you know? So, yeah, I love both my kids equally. I could not choose between them. Sorry to disappoint. And question number 2 is, what's your favourite Cliff Richard track? This is definitely a Susan question, this. Mr. AI did not pick this up, I'm sure. So, I never used to hate Cliff Richard. Can we make this clear? Or shall I say dislike? Because hate is a strong word, as I've said before. But I used to do some songs on a kazoo, and basically every song I did, they would say was Mistletoe and Wine. And yeah, so back in the day, I did like Holiday, Summer Holiday, sorry, not just Holiday, because that's Madonna, innit? And yeah, I did like that back in the day. And I also liked when he did Living Doll with the Young Ones, which we sang at my birthday. And if you've watched my birthday vlog, you'll have heard that while my Cabbage Patch Kid was dancing on her own, obviously. But in some weird way, I don't like any of them, right? We're going to say that because it's Cliff Richard. But, or maybe that's wrong. Maybe I still do like them. They're just, yeah. It's just them annoying me that I don't like. Maybe. No. But in some ridiculous way, Mistletoe and Wine, because of the joke of it made it so funny. And, like, yeah, it's something we still talk about. Like, then I suppose has to be that, doesn't it? Because of what happened. And then I did re-record it and put it out on my YouTube a couple of years ago, near Christmas. Yeah, that was a bit of fun. Well, for me, but not for anyone else, but never mind. Okay, question 3. What's the most ridiculous thing you've ever said? I say things like every day ridiculous, so it's kind of hard to remember. And I know that in the group of like friends, they've always talked about doing a Laney dictionary because of things that I say on my own accord. I guess one of the things I would have to like literally go back, but the other day when I was talking to Susan, I called Confucius Confuctus, and I couldn't think of his name. And then I ended up in the whole Looniverse. I think Susan was suggesting that I had my own universe, which, and because Google translates my name to Looney instead of Laney whenever I see it, so I then put that together with what Susan said about me having my own universe, and we came up with the Looniverse. So yeah, things very different there. Also, I can't say Sasquatchki. The ones that tell us the crystals, them. And then there's loads of things I've said, but I think if you know me watching this, then you've probably got things that you remember that I've said. So please put them in the comments, and we'll talk about them. Okay, where were we? 5. What's the worst fashion decision you've ever made? I've had so many fashion decisions that have been bad over the years. Trying to think of one. I had these, they weren't, what are they called? They're like loafers, and they came in fashion sort of the back end of the 80s, maybe in maybe 1990s, somewhere there. And everybody had them, and I begged my mum for some, and I finally got them at the end of them being fashionable. And we were going to the beach, and our dinner hour at school, because where my school was, my senior school, it was very close to the beach. So we used to cut through the cemetery, and at the bottom of the cemetery there was like a river thing. And the lads who were with us were just jumping across, like, they were cool. And the girls were like wanting to cross this tree that was like over it. So I'm not very good with heights. Not that it was very high, but you know what I mean. So I just decided I'd jump across, right? In these it was really muddy on the sides, and I managed to get across, but like my foot got stuck in the mud. And so when I pulled like my foot up, just my foot came out, and my shoe was still stuck in the mud. And then I had to like sort of lie on the side of the bank and reach down for my shoe. And then like my socks were absolutely black, they were covered in mud and everything. Pulled up my shoe, and it made that kind of loud suction noise. Everyone was looking, and yeah, that was one of many embarrassing moments that I can think of. Who would you choose to be stuck in a lift with, and why? Oh. You see, there's like the option of like thinking, Jason Momoa, that would be nice. Or someone you could have a laugh with and stuff, like someone who was funny, like, I don't know, Lee Evans maybe, or who else? I'm trying to think who else is funny. They'll just go mind blank. You don't know anyone funny. Yeah, but also David Attenborough, that would be amazing, because like just like sit on the floor and chat about like where he'd been and everything he'd seen. That would be amazing, because I absolutely love David Attenborough. And yeah, so I think I'd choose him, actually. I think that would be great. That would be like really amazing. Right, next question. This is from Chris Tyler. So Chris Tyler said, if you could travel back in time, where would you go? I think I would go back in like my own history, in terms of like, so for instance, 2 of my grandparents I never met. So my mum's mum and my dad's dad, I never met them. So it would be lovely to sort of go back in time to meet them, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think probably something like that, or like great grandparents, or so something out of my own ancestry in that sort of thing, because I just think that would be really cool. I don't think there's like a particular era, or maybe the 30s, like the Art Deco, that kind of stuff, or yeah, because then I could buy all the jewellery and then it would be worth millions. Yeah, go back in time, like to the Victorians, to the Art Decos, to the all that, buy all the jewellery back then, and then be rich. Yeah, okay, maybe something like that. Anyway, but yeah, I'd probably choose actually like the family side of things, meeting my mum's mum, especially like when she's taught about like I used to just think I knew that like I would love you kind of thing, and it was just a shame that she died sort of 3 years before I was born. So yeah. Anyway, Chris's second question is: if you were a wrestler, what would your entrance theme song be? Oh wow. Uh, it would it would have to be "They See Me Rolling, They Hate It," because obviously Robo Bitch. Because well, I mean, if I was, would it be like the bitch and Robo Bitch and the bitch? I'm not a bitch, obviously, but you know, what could it be? Robo Bitch and Robo Bitch and the legless. I'm not legless. I've got legs. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I should have probably thought about that a bit more before, but yeah, definitely "They See Me Rolling, They're Hating." I don't know the rest of the tune. I just go something like that anyway. Yeah, but that would probably be it. Question 3: what qualities draw you to people? Um, Humor is a huge thing. Yeah, someone who just gets my funny, I guess, gets my jokes, gets me, and is funny in their own sense, if you know what I mean. Like, just is laughs at life a little bit. Um, Obviously, like kindness, uh, and people who are not cruel and things like that, especially to nature and people, the things that are innocent and stuff. But yeah, humour's definitely the biggest, I think, in a way. Obviously, if the person's not a nice person but they're funny, I didn't want to know. But like, do you know what I mean? But yeah, that would be it. Kindness and humour. Question 4: what's the best compliment you've ever gotten? Um, oh god, that's I can't tell that, can I? I suppose I could really. To be honest, right, in terms of, I don't really, like, when I was younger, I kind of, like, never really accepted compliments. I guess just people saying I'm a nice person is compliment enough for me. If people think I'm a nice person and know me, you know what I mean? Like, that's fine. But going back years and years ago with a boyfriend I had years ago, oh, this is bad. Hope he never watches, but still. Um, he he sent me some like words he'd written, and in it he said that my eyes were like, what is it? My eyes were a deep chocolate pool of love or something. Oh my god. Yeah, that no. Yeah. Anyway, what's next? Question 5 is: if you could be any if you could be any animal, what would you be and why? Mm, I like all of them. Obviously, like sort of a tiger or a lion. Like that's pretty cool, isn't it? Like they're sort of right up there, aren't they? Um, I kind of probably relate mostly to a sloth. Um, um, but maybe like a dolphin or something. I don't know. I don't know. There's kind of loads of options, isn't there? Because it covers such a wide range. Like like obviously the thought of like being able to fly, so you could choose a bird, and then something that can swim. That's really good swimmer that can hold the breath underwater, etc. Like that would be cool. And then something that could run fast, like a jaguar or what are them big birds that can run? Ostriches? Ostriches? No, an ostrich, I think. Yeah, there's loads of different options, but then you've also got like just a domestic pet because most of, well, those of them that are pampered are very looked after, aren't there? So yeah, there's loads of choices, but all of them. Okay, and my next questions are from Nic Hills. He says, what have you learnt over the past years about resilience and staying positive? You have had so much to deal with and somehow managed to stay positive. That's really hard to answer in a way, I think. But I'll give it a go. I spent a long time not being positive, so I suppose, and I guess because I never did YouTube then, people wouldn't know. I mean, I feel like I'm the same person. I'm just a more positive version, and I feel like I can do things, and I still have off days, down days, whatever, but I try not to let it bleed into the next year or whatever. I try to sort of say to myself, right, and I can go to yesterday. I felt quite down yesterday, and I went to sleep last night and said, right, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to be fine. And even though I had a really bad night's sleep, I still feel much better today. But and that's totally different from getting depressed or being depressed. That's a totally different thing. So it's really hard to get back out of. But, and I used to, like I said, I used to look at things negatively, but now I kind of think, right, what's a positive in this? I always feel like there's a positive in everything in some way, even though it might be a weird positive. Like, I remember once having an infection in my leg and thinking, oh my, like, I had cellulitis, by the way, and I thought, what if I have to lose my leg? What if, like, and I was really scared, but at the same time I thought, oh well, if I did, that's a lot of weight loss. And I know that's stupid, but I just had to find a positive in it. So that was one way of doing that. And like I think it's sometimes it's hard to keep fighting when things keep going wrong, but you just have to keep reminding yourself why you're doing it. It's like trying to get outside again. It shouldn't be that hard, like to get help to get into the wheelchair again and things like that. But it was, but no, now that I can do it and I am back outside, the positive of that, the way that affects me and how I feel about it is, I suppose, what kept me going at the time, knowing that this would be the end result, because it's such, like, I think people take it for granted that they're able just to go out when they want or whatever, but when you can't and you're restricted to times, like you learn to appreciate it a lot more, I think. And I just try and, like I said, I just try and look for positives in it all, and I try not to focus on the negative side of it, which sometimes is hard, but yeah. And also, I talk to everybody, and whether it's like just through YouTube doing that or talking to friends in the group, that really helps, like sort of talking things through, like really does help. It helps you get that frustration out and then move on. So yeah, I hope that answers enough. Okay, and his second question is, since listening to a lot of new music on your reaction channel, Leonie reacts, by the way, I need to do more videos. Are there any bands that are now ones you would consider yourself a fan of? Yes, there is, and that is Radiohead. Radiohead have absolutely blown me away. I knew the song Creep. Wasn't that overly bothered by it, you know. And I'd heard the band name Radiohead, but to be honest, didn't know anything else they've done, never heard it. And I started Reaction Channel, and obviously Radiohead was suggested. And there is loads of their songs that have literally made me cry. Tom York's voice is phenomenal. The way he can make a song so emotional, do you know what I mean? And I know the words and everything count in that, of course, but his voice just does something. There's just so much hurt and pain, and you know that what he's singing about, he's felt and stuff. And there's been like quite a few that like have made me cry. So yeah, I would definitely say Radiohead. There is a couple of others that I've liked. Arcade Fire. And I'm just going to go blank now. I should have probably looked before, shouldn't I? But yeah, Radiohead, without a doubt, have blown me away. And yeah, I'm really pleased that I did that, because I've come across loads of things that I would never have heard of. So that's really cool. Anyway, that is it. Thank you all for your questions. I hope I have managed to do this in a short enough time that I can all go out in one, thankfully. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Thank you very much. And yeah, I don't know what else I was going to say. Now it's like just mind blanked. Yeah, it's usually thank you for watching. Yeah, that's one. Thank you for watching, and I shall catch you next time. Bye bye now. Bye bye.